And we are live. Mr. Shetzel, welcome back. Guys, you're in for a
Listen,
treat tonight.
Duncan.
You know him, you love him. This is Shetzel. He is the captain of the Team Norway, otherwise known as your 2026 WTC champions. So, it is kind of a big deal. Shetzel, tell everyone how amazing you are and how excited we are about what we're doing tonight.
Well, I mean, this is what I live for. This is what it is. My year starts the week after WTC. Right? That's my year. That's how I divide my year. This is it. This is the thing.
This is the
Everything leads
thing.
up to this.
That is a very accurate thing to say. This is the absolute thing. So, guys, we have a really cool treat for you. The WTC list, the World Team Championships list, are live, and a lot of these Army lists are really going to define how the meta is going to look for the next, honestly, probably several months, assuming we don't get irrationally huge changes in the next balance patch. Which there'll be some changes, but these style of lists are going to dramatically influence everything that you're going to be seeing, not only at teams, but at your singles events as well. And it's really, really exciting how that's going to happen. So what Shezel and I have done is we both picked five-ish lists that we want to talk about, like what it does, why it's really good in singles, what influence it might have, why it's really good in teams, and what influence it might have on the singles meta. And we might actually talk about some lists that on face value might not even look that good. But trust me, everyone who's attending the WTC is the absolute best of the best. All of these lists are curated by what you can presume is the top 8 players for each team, for basically the top 8 players from their countries. Now, that's not 100% accurate because there's going to be a person here or there who couldn't attend, but effectively, you should think about absolutely everyone as a top 8 player in their country, which is very, very exciting. I see a bunch of you guys in chat. We see Mr. Adam Skinner. We see the Van Dread himself. We see Nindo 40K. What a super, super awesome name. You're saying my audio seems low compared to Shuttle? I just did an audio check. If the other people are hearing that, please type in the chat as well, and I can fix that. But we are pretty excited to do. And then Shetel and I have some bonus information for you that we're going to share. Shetel's been doing a little data gathering, which is pretty sick. And we're basically going to be telling you guys all about who is predicted to be the winner of the War Master and a winner of the WTC this year, based on actual data and nerd math. This is Shetel nerd math, so it can be trusted. It's not my nerd math, because you can't trust my nerd math. But man, Mr. Shadow, you want to share your first list? You want to tell me who to look up? Like, what is most exciting to you, or do you want to give a little bit of an intro first? Actually, I skipped to B. Why don't you then give a little, I don't know, a little love for the
I
crowd?
mean, you gave it a fair go. I mean, Captain Team Norway. I do my best
Yeah,
to make sure that we actually do good this year. Very confident. We've done a lot of hard work.
yeah.
So that is also why my first list that I would want to present is our boy Wonder Eirik's demon list.
Okay, so actually, I'm really glad you want to share this one. So the list that we're about to share with you guys. It's from Iotic. He's on our team, but you can see effectively the same list on almost every single country, and there's a reason for it. This army list, if
Yes.
you have not seen it yet, it is I think the definition of meta defining. You're gonna see something within 100 points of this list at every single event. You're gonna see this at every team's event for good reason. As a matter of fact, Shetzel, if you have the stats of what we pulled out when we data mined it, how many teams actually brought basically this list?
Oh, let's see. We need to go keep everyone busy, entertain people.
Yeah, because Emperor's Children were the most populated army at the WTC and the War Master, actually. More than Orcs,
So
more than Gnomes.
there's 17 lists with this combination of detachments.
Mm-hmm.
There are 6 of them playing it as priority assets,
Well,
and every single one of them is tier 1 or tier 2, right?
right.
It's USA, France, Germany, Poland, Austria, Ireland.
Yep.
Did we miss something by not doing it as priority assets?
No, they missed it
Maybe.
not doing it as recon. That's what it is.
Yeah, because
Freaking nerds.
because that's the thing. It's flexible, right? There are 10 running it as recon. That's us, Belgium, England, Netherlands, Switzerland, And all 5 of the tier 3, 4 teams remaining: Finland, Greece, Latvia, Northern Ireland, and Mexico.
Yep.
Then Wales, interesting. They run it as Disruption with Cavalcade instead of Warp Tide.
Sounds like nerds to me. My favorite thing in the world is to call other people nerds when I do this for an actual living. It's my favorite insult in the world.
So our list and the Netherlands are basically exact twins.
Right. So why don't you walk us through what the list is and what makes it tick and why people really need to pay attention to? I don't mind if we spend a little extra time on this one because this will define both singles and teams meta.
All right. So I don't know how many of you guys played in the era of this being like the meta defining list in 9th edition, because this was in 9th edition. You couldn't kill it. It just didn't die because there was that Thief of Pain stratagem that was very important for how this list worked. Basically said, oh, you're doing damage to this thing? No, you're doing damage to this thing instead. And now it has a 4 Feeling of Pain as well, because it's Mortal Wounds.
So why don't we walk through what the list actually is, and then we'll talk about how it works.
All right. There's 60 Demonettes in here. 60 Demonettes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1 attached to the Contorted Epitome, otherwise known as the Demon Mirror.
And that mirror gives them a 4-up against Feeling of Mortal Wounds.
Yep.
Right? And that'll be key for the strat. There's 2 Keeper of Secrets. There's the Mask. And there's a Torment Bringer with the aura that gives... +1
to wound.
I think that's just +1 to wound for non-monsters.
Yeah, because the Torment Bringer itself gives sustained hits.
Yes, that's what it is. There's a big unit of Fiends. There's 2 smaller units of Fiends. There's a unit of Seekers. And there's 2 units of Fleshhounds. And it plays as Recon. So it just wants to be places and kill things.
Does it do that?
And boy, howdy, does it do that. There's serious things that this thing just kills.
Yeah.
I've seen that unit of Demonettes do like 15 dev wounds and a bunch of saves. Like it's weird.
So how does it do it? You wanted to explain the detachment rule so that people can kind of grasp the concept?
So when you make a charge move, you get Spice first. What this detachment wants to do is it wants to gamble. And it gambits with everything. And what they do is that they give up fights first, reroll to wound, reroll to hit, and reroll 1s to wound.
So everything in the army, 4 rerolls to hit, and reroll 1s to wound whenever they charge, but they don't get fights first.
That is correct. However, in 11th edition, if you don't have fight first, you still activate first. So no matter what, this list now gets to fight first anyways. Because if nothing has fight first, you're still the first activation, and then it goes to your fight normal. That's potentially a big issue. If you just want to like hit first with something like, say, the Seekers, who scout 9, move like 12, 14, advance and charge or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
They will be in your face immediately, tagging everything, disrupting everything. The Fiends will be running up. Their beasts, they're hidden. The Demonettes are running up. Their infantry, they're hidden. And if you can't respond to that, you kind of just die.
And even though it's only a crap ton of attacks at, strength 4, AP 1 with devastating wounds, it's a crap ton of full rerolls to hit attacks with sustained hits with strength 4 +1 to wound and devastating rerolling wound over 1 hit attacks. It is insane. It's like it's absolutely bonkers.
It is.
One tip for you guys: if you're ever going to play against it, don't start things in reserves. You need everything on the table to handle this pressure. But yeah, we love this list. So that's all. I like it. I'm glad we share this one. I think that's really important for people to recognize what that does.
Yeah, and it's one of those lists that are like, I'm just gonna.
Yep.
And if you can't handle, I win.
Yep.
And
fully idiot
that's
list.
important if it's a large tournament in very hot climates when you're not used to it, right?
Yo, good point.
That's one of the things for tournaments that are in such a long length of War Master plus WTC, right? That matters a lot, actually. Like the cognitive load. Like I chose away doing Halo Screed, for example, in order to do that.
It's a very,
Because Halo
very good
Screed
point.
could be better, but it's not necessarily the thing I want to do for 7 days in a row. Because there's so many pitfalls.
The amount of cognitive load on players at these super majors is immense. So simplifying your strategy can be a fantastic. It just increases your own natural performance. We do have our first super chat from Mr. GB, who I hope I'm seeing you at the major in South Carolina. Shout out to the TO. They're hoping the first major that's ever going to be in South Carolina in September 12th and 13th. I'm not affiliated with them, but I do love them, so I am promoting it. So Grant says, thanks for doing this, boys. If you don't mind sharing team strategy standpoints on how you're using disruption, he's finding issues locally with it. Here's some beer money. Well, I do love the beer money. I mean, Cheto, you're the captain. The only thing I would say is that disruption is just clearly the worst. So it's kind of the thing that we're using to blunt with. But do you have anything you want to share about it?
I think that disruption as a baseline is not something you go for.
Right.
However, there are certain armies
Mhm.
that play disruption well,
Sure.
simply because they are also baseline good armies.
That's fair.
But if you have something that just blasts and tables the opponent, like a lot of the Emperor's Children lists we're seeing, like what we almost did with Custodes, like people are doing with Cult of Speed. Those are things that makes disruption work on the basis of you're already a good army.
That's a good point. If I may add, I think disruption is a great place to put your army that's built to blunt another army. So during our testing, we found that certain Grey Knight builds were actually really, really good at blunting orcs. And so that's actually a great place to put your disruption player when you build that hard counter to one of the big metas. And maybe it's not supposed to beat orcs, but if it takes it to like a 10 or a 9, it's a brilliant use of that disruption slot. All right, so let me share my first army that I want to talk about. Mr. Eriks was awesome. Appreciate talking about it. But I want to talk about this one orc list that we are seeing from Mr. Jack Tight of Team England. So Mr. Jack Tight brought something really, really cool here. It's Warhorde, just like me. I personally find Warhorde is just a much, much better detachment than Freebooters. Not that Freebooters isn't awesome. It totally is, but it does not have Warhorde strats, and I'm addicted to it. So I love that he did that first. Second off, though, let's talk about this. It's called the WA Final. So he's got Gaz with a Pain Boy, Follow Me Lads, plus the boys. I think this is just the butter standard. You're going to see this in literally every single orc list. The unit is utterly incredible for many reasons. In Warhorde, it starts base with +2 to move. Very powerful. He took one Beast Boss on Squigosaur with 4 Squighog boys. He took another Beast Boss on Squigosaur with 8 Squighog boys. And then he took Mozrog Scragbad with 8 Squighog boys. Wazdaka Gutsmech, double Big Mech Docker Eggs, and double Gretchen. For those of you who don't know what a Squighog boy's defensive profile is, it is T7, 4 up armor save, 5 up field of pain. 6 of the models have 3 wounds, 2 of the models have 4 wounds. This is a really big deal because in Warhorde we have access to my favorite stratagem in the entire universe, which is Hard as Nails, which is -1 to be wounded. And I don't know about you guys, but if you've ever tried to chew through, oh geez, quick, someone math check me, but it's over 54 wounds of T7 that are -1 to be wounded with a 5 up field of pain. That sucks hard. So he is just stat checking you in the absolute dome with this list, and there's going to be several lists out there that straight up cannot handle it. Like Shato, does this look like a pairing problem to you?
I consider orcs in general a bit of a pairing problem.
Totally fair.
I think, at least for what our consideration is, it is a very different pairing tool than the other type of lists.
Yep.
And I think this is the pairing tool we really wanted, based on how we're seeing all the other things going, because of some of the lower-ish volume,
Yep.
but still high-ish volume. If you get what I mean, like the mid to high volume,
Sure.
that normally killed the boys. Now, maybe don't kill the boys, and the things that killed boys and gas now maybe only kill the boys.
Which means you punch them in
And
the
that
face.
just means you win
Yeah, it's
if they can't handle that some of the
brutal.
times, right? Because that's one of the considerations we had with like the AdMech lists plus something else. Was to like, can we just go into orcs and win regardless of who the orcs are?
Right.
And we could, but the load and the things that we needed to do for that to go off, if we made a mistake, we brought back zeros. But that wasn't necessarily the thing we wanted to do.
Yeah. The reason why I really want to talk about this list is because the design of it is really kind of tailor-made towards teams, because he is just checking you in the face with things that hate that T7 breakpoint. And for the armies that are going to struggle with that, they're basically going to roll over it, which is why I wanted to show this list design. Anyway, I thought this was a very fascinating one, so shout out to you. Of course, we're not going to struggle with Team England because they don't have no sky cameras to protect them at the WTC. Ain't that right, Shetzel?
That's right.
All right, we do have a second super chat from Mr. Mass Brofex, my favorite human being alive, with his $20 super chat saying, "Good luck this year, boys." Well, thank you, sir. We're hoping to bring some good stuff. We got some cool predictions for you guys at the end of the stream on actually what the chances are looking like. All right, Mr. Shetzel, you got your second list that you want to look at?
Right. So, this is an archetype that we did consider running. We did consider getting all the models we needed here for you to do this.
Yep.
And it is Innes Wilson's Dark Angels Company of Hunters and Darkflight Pursuit.
Yes, sirree. This is definitely something we were very strongly considering. I was trying to actually do it on my own to get it ready for War Master. I just couldn't get the models ready. But that's because I'm a slowpoke and I hate painting. All right, take us through it.
So, he has, assuming the die, he runs the same for War Master. And
He does.
He has Azrael with Intercessors. Assault Intercessors. Typical setup for they do things. Then we have, thanks to Ravenwing Command Squad now becoming support.
Ridiculous.
We have Samael, the Ravenwing Support Squad, and an Outrider Squad. And for those that don't know why you do this, the Ravenwing Command Squad has a weapon that has anti-vehicle 4-up. Only damage 1. With an Outrider Squad, they become damage 2. With anti-vehicle 4-up, dead wounds against monsters and vehicles, or maybe only vehicles, I don't remember. But now it's damage 2. With, I think it's 12 attacks on the command squad.
So the devastating wounds, that comes from the Black Knights. The Outriders give the +1 strength, +1 damage.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So either way, they're damage 2 on the thing. They shoot a lot of plasma things. Sapphire goes to damage 3.
Ravenwing Champion goes to damage 3.
It becomes a lot.
Ton. And it's very cheap.
And they're fast. They are so fast.
+1 to advance and charge. They get to heroic for -1 cost. And he's got an enhancement on here. I forget Recon Hunter. I forget which one Recon Hunter is. I'll look up with that one. I think that might be the Scout 9.
Something like that. Oh, the anti is from the Black Knights. The dev wounds are based. That's what it was.
Yeah. Correct.
I know my things. It definitely hasn't been one. Either way, a squad that just goes woo and is a big problem.
Yeah, and that's the Scout 9. So that squad Scouts 9, and then it moves 12 with +1 to advance and charge, and advances and charges.
Yeah.
It's filthy.
And then we have where are we? There we are. Lion, Tech Marine, things you do. Now you might say, oh, why Tech Marine? Well, in addition to that unit of Deathwing Knights, we have 2 Landspeeders, 3 Landspeeder Vengeances,
so
and I believe the Night Forged Battery is the one that lets them re-roll the amount of attacks.
Correct.
A Scout Squad, and a Thunderstrike Storm Speeder for the +1s to wound. So this is just gonna go whoop, 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 and just keep shooting you. And if you get somewhere close, they just go, no, go away.
And you're going to see several iterations of this particular style of list.
Some
Sometimes,
go bike heavy,
yeah,
some do
more
other
bikes, less
things.
bikes. One thing that happens in all of them is you always take the Lion because he's the most ludicrously undercosted model in the game right now.
Yep.
And you always take 3 of the Landspeeder Vengeances. And that's the thing that you see really solid. There's always some form of the Samael squad. Sometimes you take it with 6 bikes, sometimes you take it with 3. Personally, I'd be running with 6 Black Knights. Personal flavor, people run different things. Innes is going to crush faces with this because we know Innes is an incredible player and he doesn't make lists that don't work. He might make lists that won't work for you, though, but he is going to smash faces with this. So this general style of list freaking rocks, that's for sure. All right. So let's take a look now at Mr. Georgios Floros, pardon me. This guy is awesome. I played him at last year's War Master. I was blessed enough to get to play with him. We had an absolute blast, and he is a total peach of a man. We really enjoyed my time with him. I think he was my last game in the War Master last year. And he's a very, very solid Blood Angels player. And he brought some serious Blood Angel spice. It's a very, very different style of list. There's actually 2 styles of Blood Angel lists I wanted to go through, but this is the one I figured I'd really talk about. So he took Stormlance, Task Force, and Vengeful Host in it. Stormlance is only 2 detachment points for Blood Angels, but it's 3 for everyone else, which is a little interesting. Vengeful Host is the one that really jump pack units like. Gives you reroll hit rolls of 1 when you charge. Gives you the access to the extra move. Extra strength, stuff like that. So he went Commander Dante with 6 Sanguinary Guard, and notice this one's 280. That's because there are 3 Sanguinary Guard units in this list. Lamarte's with 10 Death Company Marines with jump packs, -1 damage, blah, blah, blah. I kind of hate the squad, but when the entire army has advanced charge, fall back a charge, it becomes more interesting to me because you can hit it at the same time as other things, so their durability is more important. We got 1 Captain with Jump Pack who's leading the Orcs, who's running the Orcs Bane weapon, which is incredibly powerful. That's the one with Cleave 2, Strength 8 or 9, AP 2, Damage 3. It's a monster weapon that comes from the new detachment. He's going to be with 6 Sanguinary Guard. Then he's got a Captain with Jump Pack leading another 6 Sanguinary Guard. Remember, all these Sangard are all going to be rerolling hit rolls of 1. They already hit on 2s, so they're hitting on 2s, rerolling hit rolls of 1. They do not need Oath of Moment. This guy does not need Oath of Moment on anything. He's got, looks like 2 of the squads are going to be 6 spears, and 1 of the squads is going to be with blades. The main difference is spears have lance innate, and the blades have AP 3 innate. This is a full fury, I'm going to charge and kill you, murder your face off list. He then has a chaplain with jump pack, rocking it with 10 Vanguard veterans with jump packs. All these dudes crushing it with the Mastercrafted power weapons. The amount of damage that this army puts out is kind of bonkers. Double JPI and
Out
single
of
scouts.
curiosity, what is the loadout of those Vanguard veterans? Is it the new data sheet
It's
or
the
is
new
it the
data
old
sheet.
one?
It's Mastercrafted power weapons. So it's the new data sheet. So 3 attacks each with damage 2.
Very nice.
Now, the chaplain gives them the +1 to wound at all times. They still get devastating wound, or not devastating, pardon me, lethal hits when they charge. And then the new detachment can even give them, you can give them +1 strength with the new detachment's roll, so you can get them to that critical strength 6 to stack with the chaplain's innate +1 to wound. Can really, really get their damage up there in quite a big way. So yeah, this is freaking awesome, guys. And let's give a quick shout out to Saima Gaming out there. They hosted a really good tournament that Team Norway attended in Finland a little while ago. And they're in chat, so I just wanted to say we love you guys and appreciated the tournament that you hosted. And if anyone is looking for tournaments in the Finland area, Saima, those are the guys to check out with, to hang out with. So yeah, I think Georgios here made a really, really sick list that is full frontal assault. Now, this is the style list that I would kind of hate in singles. I think it just shoots you in the foot because you're going to run into bad matchups. But in teams where we have some pairing control, armies that just don't want to be punched in the face a million times in a row, this is a beautiful teams list, but this is the style list that I would be very hesitant to run at a singles event. Does that make sense? All right.
Because suddenly you run into 60 demonettes and they will hit you first and you can't save and then you die.
And you're cooked, right? So yeah, I would probably hesitate in that scenario, but teams, whew, this is very, very spicy. All right, Mr. Schetzel, what's your next one?
All right, so I want to highlight one of the more unique demon lists.
Ooh, demons.
And I know there are people that have been talking about this some places. I can't remember if it was in your Discord or if it was in Team Norway.
Ooh, could go either way.
But we have been talking about lists like David Gaillard's Blood Legion and Cavalcade list.
You did it, man. I was gonna go with Francois, but So shout out to Francois Lalonde. We love you, but we're gonna hit David Gaillard's list. All right. Also, shout out to David
John,
Gaillard. Good one. We love you too.
What is the Blood Legion detachment rule?
All right. So this is the thing that I was looking at earlier, and Blood Legion is one of those detachments that everyone has more or less in my brain just written off, and I didn't even really notice it until today. And then Blood Legion was the Khorne Demon detachment, where if you ended a move within 6 inches, they could do a D6 Blood Surge move. However, it's been updated in 11th edition, where it's now if you end a move within 8 inches, they do a D6 Blood Surge. Mr. Shettle, do you want to explain how profound that is?
So let's take Innes's list, for example.
Yep, that's a great one.
If he wants to, say, charge your bloodletters and shoot a bunch of bloodletters, right? Shoot one squad, charge another squad. You don't necessarily want to sit outside of 8 to charge 9s.
Yep.
That's a bit risky if you don't have any bonuses, right? If you go within, that means that you are, say, 7.99 inches away.
Yep.
If he rolls a 5 up, you're now in engagement. It's not a 6 up, it's a 5 up. So, your plan's ruined. 1/3 of the one-third of the time, your plan is ruined.
Yeah, and if you're a melee pressure army and you're playing against this thing, and you basically what you're saying is that you can't ever charge him, because if you get within 8 inches, he gets the blood surge, or you have to risk him blood surging, and it's more that it's more than you just can't charge him and you don't get like the fights burst bonus, all stuff like this, because demon data sheets can kind of like not be the greatest, so you can probably eat them hitting you first, but you lose the ability to charge. And if you're playing melee pressure armies, guys, you move more in the charge phase than you do in the movement phase. It's such an insane hit. And Chantal, how do shooting armies feel about this? Not being able to move within 8 inches of the unit.
When you have a thing called hidden nowadays, that you typically have to be within 15 to 12 inches to shoot.
God.
That becomes kind of uncomfortable. Now, David Gaillard's version is 18 blood crushers.
So good.
So there's not that much being hidden necessarily.
Right.
But if you want to hold objectives,
blood crushers.
Sometimes those blood crushers will be sitting around the objective, and you won't be able to hold that objective at like the max range. You'll have to actually be closer than that, and then it's like a 4 up and a 3 up, and then it gets into combat with you. And then you have to kill blood crushers in melee. And most people don't really want to kill blood crushers in melee if they are a shooting army or like a medium thing. They want to soften them up first. These are tough boys. These are beefy boys.
5 up in Vuln. It's absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal. Yeah, you basically can't touch an objective or you will be engaged. And a lot of our units can't shoot if they're engaged. Right? Only monsters or vehicles. Yep. And then monsters or vehicles are -1 to hit. And that does stack with cover, which is -1 ballistic skill. It's a disgusting army that's going to cause massive problems for people if they're not thinking about it. This will be an incredible pairing tool.
Let's consider it, right? You want to kill Belcor and Scarbat.
Yeah.
So we take Innes's list, or anyone's lists.
Yeah, take the Squig Hog list that we were running, talking about Jack Tights. Take that list.
Yeah. You send a lot of Squig Hogs. You're gonna charge Scarbat and Belcor. You want to kill the big things. Now we gotta kill 2 units of Flash Hounds instead, because they searched into you.
True. brutal. And game over. Right? And now you don't hold
Yeah.
objectives. Now it's absolutely abysmal to deal with. And we
And
have
and
it.
it does keep you a little bit honest as well. Because there's a burning chariot to remove cover and skull cannons to shoot you and force battle shock tests. There's a lot of hidden subtlety here as well. And let's not forget, like, Be'lakor by himself is also somewhat decent shooting and also very good melee.
And he still gives reroll hit rolls to the entire army around him, so he's actually a big buff piece still. So yeah,
Yep.
I just
I mean,
love this list.
once you're in there, woo.
I absolutely adore this list. And just shout out real quick to Mr. Riddy Games, the $25 super chat. Beer money for the boys. I appreciate you guys. Have a great WTC. Don't worry, Mr. Shettle and I will imbibe on your behalf because we love you. And Riddy, I hope to see you. I know we spoke in the Discord a little bit, so I hope I get to see you in September. That'd be really sick if I do. And then in that scenario, beer's on me. So, yeah, dude, David, you built an awesome list. I know Francois built a similar list. A few pieces are a little different. I don't think he took the Scar brand, but the style list is actually very similar, and I absolutely adore what they did. Shettle, good pick. Good pick on this one. This is one that I actually would see crushing it in singles. And if I'm not mistaken, Johnny5477 in the chat says Mike Pestilence. He's from Warphammer. Played him at a local singles event this weekend, and he got 5 games and tied for 6th place. So there you have it. There you have it. Okay, so let me bring up the next one I wanted to talk about, and this was that was Georgios. I loved it. I just want to talk about it again. I got another orc list here. I'm on this orc kit, so I want to kind of share these different styles because orcs are a very varied army right now. And this is a very different build from both mine and from Jack's list that you just saw, and I absolutely love it. So he's running Bully Boys and the Equatorial Hordes. This is one of those detachments that you just don't expect to see because Bully Boys kind of is poop. What he did here is he built something very, very cool. Now this is a War Master list, to be clear, but I actually kind of love the way it's built because it's going to stat check someone so hard and they're not going to be prepared for it. So in Bully Boys, you're going to get to WA twice. The second time you WA, it only affects units that are led by war bosses. But remember, Squighog, beast bosses on Squigosaur, beast bosses, there's lots of different types of models that have the war boss keyword. So he's going to run the Gaz with the Pain Boy and the Boys Blob. Like I said, that's standard in basically every single list. He's going to run the War Boss with Big Gob, which is a Battle Shock at the start of the fight phase, a Pain Boy, and another 20-man unit of Boys. Now, they have a War Boss leading them, meaning they get the second WA. Then we're going to have another War Boss with a Pain Boy and Boys. Now, interestingly, since this is Equatorial Hordes, these Boys squads are going to scout forward 6 inches. So, in turn 1, he could threaten a turn 1 WA where he scouts forward 6 inches and then advances and charges everything forward. And then you have to deal with over 60 boys with a 5 field of pain that are regenerating anywhere between D3 and 2D3 models in the command phase. And then they'll just be in the WA for another turn. This is disgusting. This army is absolutely filthy, and I'm here for it. This is awesome. Then he has Zodgrod with 20 Gretchens, which I think is a huge unit right now. I have it in my WTC list. He's got 1 Warboss and Mega Armor leading the Meganobs with the Teleport enhancement to give it Deep Strike. This is hilariously the only unit in the entire army that could use any of the strats from Bully Boys, because the Bully Boys are locked to the Knobs keyword, so only 1 unit in its entire army can use it, which is funny. Wazdaka, because Wazdaka is just insane, and he's amazing. Naked 10-man squad of Gretchen, and then a Commandos unit, which will be either a 10-man or 2 5-mans. So I love the list. I think the stat check that it brings is a very different stat check than what most people are expecting. People see Bully Boys and like, oh, this list sucks. And then you realize that you've got over 60 boys that are just regenerating constantly that are going to be in the WA twice. It's a lot. Shetzel, does this look intimidating to you at all?
Not to my particular list.
Fine.
Not to my particular list.
It makes me shrivel up.
Yes, this would be the thing that Eirik's list would struggle into.
Oh, Eirik's list would just not bother showing up.
Yeah, exactly, right. And that's the thing, right? In any tournament, not just team tournaments, there will be lists that just ruin you.
Yeah.
So if you can outskill the little bit subpar matches, and then get lucky in pairings. That's how we win tournaments.
Yeah, it's absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. All right, and let me take 2 seconds here. We have another $5 super chat from Johnny5477. He says that Norway at the WTC is my World Cup. Thank you, sir. The Holland song actually works if you sing Arkin instead. And listen, I am Holland. Actually, I am. I was he. I was up in the States a little while ago. I was scoring a bunch of goals. I wore a wig. It's just the way it works. So
I mean, when people see our team pictures this year, they'll know that we actually have a genuine Haaland.
it's entirely possible that we actually do, but it's also entirely possible that my WA might have a row token. So look forward to seeing that on stream, John. Appreciate you. Thanks so much for the super chat. And we also got Mr. 50 Mike with a $25 super chat. You beautiful man. Damn, I am late to the show, but here now. And to add on to Riddy, beers on us, lads. Crush it, Team Norway. #row. Guys, the row will happen at some point. There will be a drunk Team Norway. And you will see a row. It will be posted to social media. It's gonna happen. thank you so much, Mike. We appreciate you.
Once we hit the podium.
Once we hit that sweet podium, and remember, guys, stick around to the end because we got some sweet stats to share with you about some predictions. So anyway, this was a pick for me for Bully Boys on Equatorial Hordes. I really hope John does super well at the War Master because I loved this list and I'm excited to see how he does. So shout out to you. I have no idea who he is, but he's a legend. Mr. Schetzel, what's your next list?
So I want to highlight. As people talked about disruption, I want to swap one of my orc picks since we've talked so much about orcs now. And I want to talk about Fraser Parry.
Ooh, spell
it. It's in the above team represent.
Emperor's Children, right?
Yes.
Team Alberta.
And people talked about disruption. And this is what you have to do to win disruption.
All right, man. Walk us through the list first and then explain how it works.
It is Emperor's Children with Carnival of Excess and Frenzied Host played as disruption because that's presumably also what he's doing for his team.
Right.
We have Lord Exultant with Infractors, a Lord Exultant with Infractors, a Lord Exultant with Infractors, Demonettes, 2 Rhinos, 2 Defilers, Flawless Blade, and Noise Marines.
This list screams one thing to me, Schetzel.
Yes, it will run at you, and it will shoot you.
And presumably charge you and punch you right in the Mons Pubis. That was a science nerd joke, if anyone knows. Wow. That's a lot of death.
So what Carnival does is that if you're near the Demonettes, you get sustained. If you already had sustained, you get crit 5 sustained. And the Filers with crit 5 sustains just sort of like go
hitting on 2s.
And then you don't have an army anymore.
It's a lot.
So just kill them and then score? Kinda just works.
Legit?
It just works.
That's the strategy, right? You take the list, and you go and get rid of your opponent, and then you score all your points in battle rounds 4 and 5. And like, Schetzel, I was having a coaching match the other week, and I was talking to my client about it, and it was actually kind of a glass shattering moment because he was so worried about scoring points early in the game. And I'm like, dude, listen, you can score 0, and I mean 0 points until battle round 4, and end the game with 70 points. And it was funny because on his face, when you saw it was like, oh, this isn't 10th edition where you've lost if you're down by 30 points in the second round.
Yeah, this is the edition, and this is like a big thing for the coaches going to the WTC now.
Yeah,
they got to look at like, okay, how is the board state? 0 turn 1. 0 turn 2.
Yeah.
Yep, we're getting a 0 here, and then what they need to see now is that, okay, 0 turn 1, 0 turn 2. Engage, defend, outflank, plunder, behind. It's like, oh, so he's just gonna score like 90 points in the next 3 turns, isn't he?
Right. So learning to read a board state is going to be huge for all the coaches for all the teams this year to be able to communicate appropriately how the matches are going.
I mean, that's also a thing for the players, right? To actually, like, here are the cards that are active.
Yeah, but then we can't blame coaches for our mistakes. It's really lame.
Yeah.
All right, so that was
But yeah, like that's a good disruption example.
yeah, that's awesome. And Grant, I hope you're still watching because I think that answers your question really well. And I know you played EC and you play CSM a lot, so I think actually a perfect example. Good call, Shetzil. Because of that, you get a bonus one. But let me go to my next one first. But you definitely get a bonus one because that was so good. All right, I want to talk about Mr. Nassim. So Nassim Fouchain, awesome dude. Shout out. He and David Gaylord, they run Fireside 40K podcast, right? And so appreciate. No, that's not
No,
Nassim. That's not Nassim. Sorry, that's David and who?
that's Vic Vijay.
And Vic Vijay. Pardon me. So Nassim, another perennial, also top player. He's going to be running a list that's very, very similar to Olivier, the French, Jesus. So, amazing list. I like it a lot. It's a Librarius Conclave and Shadow Mark Talon. Super, super cool. And what they're running is they got a Lieutenant and Phobos armor. He's rocking with some Incursors. Then we've got Librarian and Terminator armor with a Celerity enhancement with a bunch of Terminator assault squads. Now, forgive me if I'm wrong, but Celerity is advance and charge. And the other one, which is the one we're about to see now, is a Librarian and Terminator armor with Terminators with Temporal Corridor, which is the uppy downy one.
That is correct.
Importantly, even if you're engaged, you uppy. And that's why it's normal Terminators, because they want to be shooting. Because in this detachment from Shadowmark, you can give them +1 AP and +1 to hit. And in Librarius, you can give them Pyromancy, which gives them +1 AP. So this Terminator squad can blast you with +1 to wound, +2 AP, +1 to hit when they're going to the Oath target.
So you remember those boys we talked about?
Dude, this Terminator blob is an absolute nightmare. And I love it. I love it. It's so good. I love the creativity. And then we have Ethan Shan, who is basically the main singer from My Chemical Romance, if you gave him some big claws. Intercessors. Double Intercessors is a little interesting to me. Centurion Devastators, because they're still rock stars, and now you give them grab cannons, because the changes to cover. And we have 2 squads of Inceptors, both with Assault Bolters. That actually was a little bit of a surprise to me. I expected to see at least one of them with the Plasma. And then 1 Reaver and 1 Scout Squad. I love this list. We see it from Olivier as well. It's very powerful for you Raven Guard players out there. Definitely take note and see if you can catch them on stream, because the list style is awesome. I had considered something similar to this. I didn't tailor it exactly the way they did. I actually like the way they did it a lot more than the way I had done it. But yeah, that shooty Terminator blob is a problem that people are not prepared for.
So I have a thing I want to mention here, because this is a good thing to mention for people that haven't thought about this. In the melee Terminator squad, why do you think people mix weapons now?
Really important.
Right? Why do they mix weapons? Why is it important to have multiple weapons? The way fast rolling works now, let's assume you have 3 boys left. Makari, Gazgul, and the Painboy. If you have all Thunderhammer Storm Shields or all Lightning Claws, you will roll those attacks, and then say you will take the first, like say you have 40 wounds or something.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you do 40 wounds. I don't know if you can get to 40 wounds, but let's say 40.
40
because it's a big number. And then your opponent rolls saves, and he rolls 4 ones. Or 3 ones, because you have 3 boys left. You roll 3 ones, 22s, whatever, right? Everything else is higher. You only lose those 3 boys, because you pick the ones first, and then Makari tanks
next.
the remaining
so
37 on Makari alone.
Ludicrously powerful.
But if you have a different weapon, you get another chance at allocating saves.
Exactly.
That's why, like we discussed, like, is it actually worth it to bring chain fists? In like the regular Terminator squad, like just to have an extra weapon to, like, if you fail to finish off the leader, because that's a real thing. Like, I can't tell how many times I've had my servitors just survive and score me another 5 points, just because everything that's before a 4 goes on everything else, and then the Underseer has a 4 up.
There's another argument for it as well, and honestly, it's nice for your Assault Terminator unit to be 20 points cheaper. Like,
That is also a
like,
very, very fair point. But there's that very important like game thing
yes,
that I think many people haven't thought about.
totally fair.
Like having mixed weapons now.
Totally fair. You were way more profound than me. And I just want to point out from Nindo 40K and oh gosh, bro, I'm gonna butcher your name, and Capel Mega blah, 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 blah. They did say that they have edited the Librarius, the temporal corridor. You can no longer be uppy downied when you are engaged, and that was done in the most recent update. I missed that one. Thank you guys for chiming in and pointing that out. So yeah, this was Nassim's list. Nassim, you crushed it with this list. Olivier also agrees with you, and Olivier, you crushed it with your list. But I can only show one of yours. I mean, I could show more, but I'm not going to. Shetzel, what's your next list?
Right, so it is another disruption list.
Yep.
But I didn't pick it because of disruption.
Okay.
I picked it because it's a thing people have been whining about. There's been Reddit threads and huge
Dude,
Reddit drama.
I hate Reddit like so much.
And it's not Nemo's, but it's basically the same list. And it's Ed Watts.
Oh, Ed,
list.
nice. Yeah, good. I'm glad you wanted to talk about this because I wanted to talk about one of these, and you're much better at speaking about this than I am. Break it down.
Guard is still good.
Yeah.
I think if I had another week to properly prep models and look at how it fit in our comp, because we would have had to alter our comp to fit this. We would have probably been on the Guard disruption train as well.
Sure.
Because this plays exactly like our 10th edition list, which kept bodying people. It has the same units. You just swap some things around to add like 9 last cannons that are hidden, that'll hit on 4s and 3s. It is the same list. It's not even 9 last cannons, it's like 18 last cannons.
It's ludicrous.
You can't go wrong with 18 last cannons that you can't shoot at.
But Shadow.
And then the big blobs are just gonna run out and then just sit on objectives. And how are you gonna score? I'm just gonna be places, do things, and score. You come close, I shoot you with last cannons. You come close, I drop scions, and you die. Nothing has changed, guys.
No, Shadow, you don't understand. See, a lot of people on Reddit were banned for saying that Guard is good. So there you have it. So you don't understand. All right, walk us through the actual list. Tell us the actual list now.
All right, so there's a big Scion squad.
Yep.
With 15 dudes.
Yep.
It has the flash grenades. I believe that is. I can't remember if that's the ignore Overwatch one or it's the minus to charge thing or minus to hit thing. It's something like that.
Cool. Useful no matter
then
what.
Then you have the Cadian Castellan with Scout on the 27-man blob.
So strong.
With Nork.
God, what a legend.
Right. So there's 2 plasma guns there. In the squad, there's plasma guns in the command squad. There's 2 plasma pistols. There's 2 melta guns. There's a bucket of las guns. You can ignore cover on demand on 3 units in this detachment. Oof. You can reroll to hit if you need it. If you don't need reroll to hit, you can get +2 attacks on every single las plasma gun. And plus an attack on every single non-plasma gun as well.
Oh.
Right? Ooh. So that unit just looks at you and shoots you with the sun.
That's so much. That is so much.
And it's also sustained, right? So you're rerolling with sustained, ignoring cover. It's better than it was.
That's insane.
And then there's 2 of the big Scion squads.
Yep.
Maybe even 3 of the big Scion squads.
It's 3 total.
Yeah, and it's 15 in each of them, right?
Yeah.
You got the Gonskos to swap orders. You got Creed to do free orders, and the thing about the Cadian Recon squads here, right? They have that Vox relay beacon. Mm-hmm. That means that Creed doesn't need the command squad tax to throw orders. Oof. She can order through the Vox relay beacon to anything within 6 of that, and then you just place those by the objectives. So that you're always within 6 of them. What more do you need?
That's wild, man.
You
That's
just
wild.
run, do things, kill things, be places. It's theoretically in singles, it's better if you run this as recon, maybe, because that's what Nemo did. Because then, like, you always have goodish missions for
Right.
this. But still, like, Nemo used Dryer in this, and people make fun of that. There was no point in using Dryer, but he's also the cheapest model with 3 orders.
That's wild.
You just like throw orders through the box relays.
And then
This is
I think you're right.
this is good.
We have 3 las cannons, 3 las cannons, 3 las cannons, and then in the bottom we have 3 more las cannons, 3 las cannons, and then 3 more las cannons. We got the one
and
scout sentinel.
if you shoot the Krieg heavy weapons, they shoot back before they die.
Is it auto?
3 up.
Oh, 3 up. That's really good. Super strong. Yeah, I think it's a scary list. I love it. Like, I love it. This is a great example of running disruption well and doing it with an army that people think sucks. Johnny 5477 asks, so is disruption just purge with extra steps? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I just want to point out everything here is just purge with extra steps, because we're playing Warhammer.
Killing
emphasis on war. Right?
It is relevant.
If you just kill your opponent, they can't score.
Yeah, pretty much. I think that's a pretty funny way to put it. All right, let's take a look-see here. Let's see what I got for you. All right. This one is War Master. This is not WTC, but I wanted to point out this is from Ridvin. You guys know him as Scary from Scarcast. What he did here is he built a list designed to do exactly what it does. Now, Scary's not playing at the WTC this year. I think he wasn't able to put all the time into it because it is a huge time commitment. But I expect him to be a huge threat at War Master. So the reason why I want to talk about his list is not because I'm going to teach you his list better than he will. He'll teach you his list way better than I am. You should go tune into his stuff. But I want to point out the way he designed the list is to play his primary. And that's what you guys got to do. What Shetel just said is true. If you just kill your opponent, you can score and win the game. He's not wrong. But there's some freaking nuance to that. Your army has to be able to score your primary and deny your opponent's primary, and Scari's list does that quite well. So let's just count the units. He's got an Archon with 10 warriors. Now, realistically, he's probably got an Archon with 5 warriors, and then 5 warriors are going to be inside of Venom, because the Venoms are going to split it. That's going to be, we're going to call that 2 units. Then he's got another Archon with Hand of the Archon, or another Archon with the Hand of the Archon, which is probably going to be 4 units. And then he's got Drazar with Incubi, that's 5 units. He's got Lady Malice with Incubi, that's 6 units. Succubus, 7 units, with witches, 7 units. Potentially 8 units, because it's going to be split into Venom as well. Raider, 9 units. Venom, 10. Venom, 11. Venom, 12. Kronos, 13. Mandrakes, 14. Ravager, 15. Ravager, 16. Reavers, 17. Scourge, 18. Scourge, 19. Scourge, 20. This list has 20 individual units on it in a recon mission. He's getting whatever action he needs done ever. He's going to be in every table quarter that he ever needs to be in. He's always got another unit to do whatever he needs to do, and he can sacrifice his trash units out there all the time. It's a very powerful list that is designed specifically to play as recon. I love the list design, which is why I wanted to point it out. So, Scary, you're a rock star. Look, I'm looking forward to seeing you. Oh, yeah, that's Francis. I had pulled him up already, but we're already talked about David Gaylor's thing. So, Mr. Shetel, if you will. Let's do one more each, and then let's go into the stats. How about that? Because I really want to break these stats down to people. I want to break down this this sheet that you've made up for us.
So let's see what is one of the. I have it here. Votan. Mathieu Clerc. From Belgium.
It's 2 T's. No, it's 1 T.
No, it's TH.
2H. Clerc. Okay.
It's also like second on the Google Doc if you like.
All right, we got Mathieu Northen Clerc from Team Belgium. He is a Farseekers and Need Guard Oathband. Mr. Shetel, take it away.
Yes. So one of the reasons I picked mine is that I ran some numbers on people and looked at their elo and looked at their faction, and then picked things that I thought people wouldn't think about, because not a lot of people talk about these armies,
Right.
like the blood. So Votan. Who plays Votan? What does Votan do? What does a call with 10 half guards do as a baseline? They just shoot a lot. Like, people just don't think about that. Like, it's purge, it's fast. Thunderkin with the conversion beamers, right? They always hit. What do the defenders do? Like, you split up, there's multiple units, you have a lot of things to do, or you sit close. Steeljacks now, right? There's a lot of things you can do with just a volume of shots that used to be AP1 and stuff. Like, this army just shoots and you die. And you think you've killed enough, but then like every individual unit is just so efficient that it kind of just doesn't.
In late game, when you've already killed all of his big hitting, all of his infantry is now -1 to be wounded while they're standing on those objectives, which makes them even harder to deal with late game.
Yeah, there's just that much shooting there that you suddenly fail to kill it, and then he gets kill more, or whatever else Purge needs to do depending on your disposition, right? And these guys are just so efficient at what they do that nobody like properly gives it the respect it needs to have.
You know, the reason why I love Votan and the reason why I hate Votan is this. Votan doesn't really have anything they excel at. They don't have anything they're bad at. They just play good, solid, honest Warhammer.
Yep.
Which means if you have a person who's good with them, that the problem is that you're facing someone who's just good at Warhammer. You're not facing someone who has a trick that you can game, or they're not facing someone who has an ability that if you have the counter to, you shut it down. What you're facing the entire rule set, because there is no trick for him to lean into. They're really just relying on good, solid Warhammer with decent profiles, and that actually is kind of a problem for a lot of people. You don't have to screen the rapid ingress. You don't have to worry about worrying about the 25-inch charge from Dante. It's just you're playing someone who has solid data sheets, who's just going to get his points and sit there and beckon you to get your points, and that's a problem when
Yep.
it comes to Votan.
And if you think about like this particular thing,
Yeah.
like all the Hernkin
Mhm.
things will be. I think the defender splits them. No, the defender is the shooty one.
Yeah,
Right?
defender's a shooty one.
So it'll yeah, Space Marine land speeders. They tow in, they shoot you with a bunch of stuff, and then they D6 out.
Mhm.
These defenders will be doing the exact same thing.
It's a
They'll
lot.
be towing in, shooting a lot of stuff with +1 or 2 to hit. Or plus ballistic skill or whatever, right?
Mhm.
And some ignore cover stuff, sustained, dev wound, some of it gets heavy, so it only needs to move 3, and then they'll tow off again and not get shot back.
It's just
Um,
yeah.
you have to
That's it.
get them, but you can't get them. And they will just be shooting you off the objectives while they don't need to like necessarily do a lot of actions themselves.
Yeah, he doesn't
Because
even have
if
to hold
this
the
one thing,
objectives.
it's yeah, like he doesn't need to be there. He can just come in and shoot you.
It's very frustrating. Okay. I'm sorry. Did you have something else to say about that?
Yeah, I was gonna say like he
Or
won't be doing it fast necessarily to get that kill turn 1. Don't necessarily need to do that if you just and then table them in later because they can't get the kill back.
that's yeah, man. It's scary, but it's true. Like it's scary, but it's true. All
Like
right.
both of them are just that simple, but it works.
Cool. So let me give one final shout out because I'm going to do one more orc list here, and it's because I have to talk about Mr. Fred Otto. For those of you guys who don't know, Fred Otto runs a channel called Breaking Heads, and Fred is the reason why I play orcs. Because I watched his streams back in 9th edition where he was running triple kill rig, and he was running like 5 units of beast snag as I was hopping in and hopping out. He got me into orcs, and I appreciate him for that because he built my love for the coolest army in existence. So he's actually running once again a very different brand of orcs from what I'm running, what Jack is running, and what Oh, geez. Our Bully Boy's friend. I forget his name. Pardon me. Freebooter crew and more Daka. So this guy's going a big mech with shock attack gun. He's going to be running with tank buses. This gives them ignore cover. So now those tank buses are an honest +1 to hit, +1 to wound. He's got a Beast Boss with Beast Snagga Boys. Now this is a 20-man. This is a unit that we're actually starting to see, which is pretty dang interesting to me. A 20-man unit of Beast Snaggas. In the WA, this squad hits really hard because in this detachment, you can give them reroll wound rolls when they're on an objective. All those attacks, with full rerolls to hit against monsters or vehicles, sustained hits because you're going to be on the chosen objective, and then really rolling wound rolls is kind of bonkers. And the fact that you're playing Freebooter Crew means that you can re-put something into the WA. While it's not my style, I kind of love and am terrified of that unit. We got Zodgrod with 20 Gretchen. He did the same thing as me. He got rid of the Runt Herds. I agree with that. It just costs 10 points, and you don't need those 10 points. It's much better to take the unit as 80 points. Then he ran the Beast Boss and Squigosaur with 4 Hogs, a truck unit, 2 10-man flash kits. I'm sorry, 3 10-man flash kits, 2 squads of Gretchen, a squad of Commandos, and then Ludas and Ludas. One of those Ludas has the Dead Shiny Shooters upgrade, which gives them rapid fire, and then Storm Boys and another Naked Boy of tank buses. Now, this is more Daka, which means they always have assault. All that infantry squad has assault, which is something that orcs typically don't have, which is very, very cool. And then in the WA phase, all that melee shooting, or infantry shooting, pardon me, is going to be sustained hits 1 in addition to everything else. This is a, how do I say, a disaster for a lot of armies that forget that orcs can shoot. Because in this detachment, they can. So people are going to need to be aware of the fact that they are facing an actual gun line, and if they deploy against it like it's orcs, you're cooked. So it's a very different take on orcs, which is why I wanted to present it to Mr. Fred, or I wanted to present this to you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. So Mr. Schetzel, I believe we have some goodies for people.
We have many a goodie.
Let me see if I can bring this up. Pardon me. I lost the
Yeah,
source
you're
that I
gonna
was
have
going to use
to.
on. So I'm going to need to open up a different one. Let me do this. And I will pull it up. If you want to go ahead and preface people with what we're going to have, I'm going to get that. Get this next
Which one is
there.
it first? The national one or the War Master one?
Let's do the War Master one. Let's do that one. Because we're getting a little bit long, so I think we just kind of hit the War Master one while I get this pulled up for everybody.
This summer, I've had a project going where I have gathered all the data from all the tournaments that I thought were relevant data.
All right, got it pulled up.
That had, people I knew and could vet and stuff like that. So we have I think it's up to 6,000 something games right now of Warhammer that we've parsed. We've gotten the ELO and we've worked on a formula to try and predict how things are going.
Do you want to tell people what ELO is?
ELO is if you've ever played chess, if I play Jonathan, if I win against Jonathan and we are both at the baseline 1500,
you could win against me.
I will get 15 points and he will lose 15 points. Right, so it's basically a symbol of how good opponents you've played and how much you've played. So if you have a high ELO, that means you're consistently also beating good opponents. Because if Jonathan, Eirik, or I beat a random guy that's never been ranked before at 1500, we would get 1 point. But if he beats us, he would get 3 points for that one win.
Right.
Where that's maybe a full tournament for people. So what I've done is I've ran that. I've added the win rates and such on the dispositions clearly. And sort of tried to do some math and some simulations to see how will we actually do at War Master. And these are the predictions of how we will be doing this year for the Nordic contingent, if you want to put it that way. So the one that it predicts will do best is Eirik. I mean, this will roughly follow ELO down.
Yep.
Because that's just how much skill matters as opposed to other things. So Eirik will all be in the 5-1 bracket for Eirik, Jonathan, and Thomas and I.
Mm-hmm.
because our elo is that high and our factions aren't bad.
Right.
Right. So that's why it puts us there. But you see, there's like a little jump in roughly the battle points it predicts we're getting, and the diffs, right?
The differentials. Yes.
Yeah. And then we have Geir and Emil at 4-2. We got Eric, Morten, and Inge at 3-3, and then Robert at 2-4. Now, Robert doesn't necessarily play that many tournaments that are tracked as ELO, but that means it doesn't hold out, right? Necessarily.
Yeah, and
So,
these are our coaching staff here.
Yeah, and that's also a thing, right? Because our French friends only play in their own thing. So looking at French ELO, looking at Polish ELO, doesn't necessarily track. So you have to consider that there are French and Polish players and teams that just don't exist for this calculation because they don't have ELO. Right? They don't play on the same tracked path.
Exactly.
No. Then I took some other
I'm at the top of the field part right now.
Yep. To basically look at who else could win and who's like from the unique teams results. So we see like Innes is projected like at a 7.
So he's got the highest chances of winning. Is that what this is saying?
Out of the ones here, yes.
Yeah. So he's got the highest chance of people who are attending to win the 616-person Super Major, followed by Manny Chima and then Liam VSL. Nassim, who we went over his list today, and Dave Gaylord are also in the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
This is
it's basically I think it's something like they predict that Innes will win it in out of all the thousands of simulations I ran.
Mm-hmm.
Innes wins the War Master 15% of the time. Folger Piles wins it 13% of the time. Nassim wins it 8% of the time, because it's just running a lot of simulations and seeing what like the mean and the average placing you get is.
That's very cool. That's very cool. Now, couldn't find the whole document, but I got a picture of this other prediction that looks like it's ranking some people for the chances to win the WTC. You know the picture I'm talking about?
Oh, the national version.
The national version of this. So we're talking about who's going to win the WTC. So I only have the picture of the 1 through 12. But if you want to break down like how this was kind of calculated and the big surprise flag in there, which we're looking forward to, surprising some people this year with our composition.
Yeah, so it ran through the same methodology, running a lot of simulations, running a lot of things, looking at how many times do we place these things, and then we just assume that both teams have optimal pairings here, and it does mathy nerdy things, runs it like 3,000 times.
Black magic.
And there is a 0.1% chance that we win the WTC.
What up?
0.1, Jonathan.
Let's go. I'm going shirtless if it happens. I'm going shirtless anyway, but if it happens, I'm gonna do it. I'll do a shoey once we when we win.
Yeah. The obvious thing that is missing from this list is, like I said, France and Poland, because no ELO.
Right. So they would upset the balance a little bit, for sure.
Yeah, probably you would put like France and maybe also Spain, like France, Spain, and Poland up in the top 5s somewhere. That's not unlikely, right? So probably bump us down 2 or 3 spots here. But if you don't factor that, we are actually very well poised to do really well this year, based on like the pure numbers.
Yeah, so I see you guys typing in there right now. You're seeing France is not in the rankings. That's because, as Shetel explained, France and Poland do not report their ELO data the same as everyone else. So it can't be included in the data because we have to have access to their full data sets. That's why they don't pull up in these.
Yeah. So, 0.1% chance to be the champions.
What?
You only got one life. There's a chance.
And Shettel is going to join me for a shoey if we end up on that podium. It's happening. It's happening.
Oh yes.
Yeah, we'll get weird with everyone. So anyway, guys, this is it. These are some of the lists that we love. Listen, there's dozens of lists out there. There's what is it, 460 or sorry, there's 360 WTC players out there, and every single one of the lists has some cool stuff in it. These are the ones that stuck out to us. We went through some of the lists that we think are going to be some of the top dogs, but we also went through a bunch of the lists that we think are really important for you guys to understand as far as the meta is concerned. Notable standouts would be like the Legion of Excess list that we spoke about, which has been repeated and copied tons of times. Mr. David Gaylord's Legion of Blood list, which was also a Francois list, so I want to give both of them shout outs for that. Nassim had that really, really sick Shadow Mark Challenge list that we spoke about. And we talked about how Disruption is actually a place to kind of upset people with, because even though Disruption scores poorly, it kind of releases you to not have to worry about scoring because you score so poorly anyway. You might as well just obliterate your opponents. So we got to speak about how we use that as a pairing tool as well. Shettel, do you have anything else you really have to share today?
Just I will try and get the crewbot to do live reports
Cool.
in the Discord in the members section.
Sick. Be a member.
And you'll
Join the Discord.
You'll be able to query the bot to look at this data if I manage to set it up in time.
That sounds awesome. So, guys, I will be having daily check-ins during the War Masters events with all of you guys, so I'll have daily updates there. Not going to happen during the WTC. I'm going to be tired. We got stuff to do. So we're going to be a little bit focused there, but we will have touch-ins in the Discord. So if you want to follow, make sure you hop in the Discord. And with that, man, Shettel, thanks so much for joining us today. Appreciate you hanging out. And for all of you beautiful people out there, crump on. Bye-bye.